was supposed to be over. Going into the final classical game, Nepo needed only a draw to win the match. Hans had one option: win. No safety, no second chances, no waiting for tomorrow. And somehow, the final game turned into one of the most talked about games of the match. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are covering the final classical game between Hans Niemann and Ian Nepomniachtchi. Score before the game: Nepo leads. Hans must win. That changes everything. Usually, when one side only needs a draw, you expect solid chess. But that's not what happened. Game starts, pawn to e4. Hans opens aggressively. Nepo responds with c5. Sicilian, interesting already, because if your goal is just surviving, there are peaceful options. But Nepo chooses to play knight f3, knight c6. Normal development, and now Hans shows his intention. Bishop to b5. Rosolimo attack. Not entering heavy open Sicilian theory. Instead, flexible structure, less forcing, more practical pressure. Nepo answers with e6. Solid. Then bishop takes on c6 and b takes on c6. Structurally, black gets doubled pawns, but in return, central control. This is one of those positions that looks weird at first, but can become very dynamic. Hans continues d3. Quite no rush. Queen c7. Nepo supports the center and prepares development. Knight c3, e5. And this is important. Black grabs space. This isn't draw first chess. Nepo is saying, I'll take the center. Hans castles. Nepo follows with d6. Everything still looks balanced. Then knight e2. Flexible move. Ideas include knight g3, f4 push, bishop to e7. Development continues. And then Hans plays h3. Small move, big idea. Prevent piece pressure and prepare expansion. But Nepo suddenly changes the tone. f5. There it is. Aggression. Immediately challenging white. Hans accepts with e takes on f5 and Nepo recaptures with bishop takes on f5. Now the position opens. White continues with knight to g3. Attacking ideas start appearing, like knight to f5, queen d7, defending and connecting, then a3. Looks slow, but there's a point. In this position, you will like to play b4, and that's what Hans is doing. Hans wants queenside control. Nepo instantly reacts with a5, stopping expansion. Now, things start becoming interesting. Knight to d2. Hans wants to go to c4 or e4. Knight f6, knight c4. Nepo goes knight to d5. So he defends the b6 square. And now, can we fix this a4 weakness with bishop to d2? Whoa, f4 played by Hans. What a move! He's opening the rook here and he's threatening this pawn. You can't castle here because ef5 is happening. I think Nepo is already in some big trouble. The ideas are amazing. Knight to d2, knight c4 and pushing f4. Nepo takes and then Hans also takes with the bishop and now he castles. Now Hans replies with knight takes f5 and it's the bishop. Now Nepo replies with rook takes on f5. Okay, the bishop on f4 is under pressure now. Maybe bishop h2 is the move you want to play. Hans goes bishop to g3. I mean, you want to double here, but it's not easy as the a5 pawn is hanging. So, rook f1, queen f1 and a4. Maybe I think just make the rook active here. Okay, now Hans has the move. Do you go queen f3 or rook to e1? Okay, so he plays rook to e1 and takes the open file. Rook to f8 played, attacking the queen. Now the queen comes to e2. Here the queen is going to e6 and attacking the d6 pawn. I think the good move here should be rook f6 to defend this d6 pawn. Okay, rook f6 is played and he defends the pawn on d6. Now I'm wondering what kinds of tactics exist here. Maybe knight b6 is okay because knight b6 the knight recaptures and now you can win the bishop on e7. Okay, Hans plays king to h2. He actually waits. I think he senses it. So he first saves his king and then wants to attack. Nepo goes pawn to h6 and now Hans brings his queen to e4, slowly improving the position. Nepo pushes g5. Now this move, I mean more than an active move, it does create weaknesses, but there is a plan. Knight to f4. You want to put your knight there and just control the white side. Knight to e3. Amazing move by Hans. He is not only challenging the knight, but you are also looking at the a4 pawn. Knight could go to g4. Okay, so Nepo takes the knight and Hans recaptures with rook takes on e3. Now I think he should take the pawn because it just makes a passed pawn for white. Bishop to f8 and does Hans take the pawn? Yes, he does take the pawn on a4 and it makes the most sense. Now what does Nepo play? Nepo plays h5 with the idea of h4. Hans plays h4 and prevents the momentum. And now bishop f6 is played. This is an incredible game played by Hans because to win on demand in the match is never easy. He comes back and I genuinely think a good plan is to just trade the queen with queen e8 check because the endgame should be winning. Nepo plays g4, attacks the rook. The rook should go to e2 and not e1. Okay, so Hans plays rook to e2. He keeps the queens on the board because I feel Hans realizes that the Squares on d6 and c6 are weak. d5 and now queen to e5, attacking the rook and the pawn. The move here should be queen to f7 because it defends both of them. And yes, Nepo plays queen to f7, defending here and here. And it's time to push the a pawn down the board now because everything else is well connected. Yes, he pushes it forward. What is Nepo's counterplay? I mean, he would hope to bring his rook and queen in, and he's doing it. With rook to f1, Hans goes a5. Bishop to g7 attacks the queen, and now Hans plays queen to e8, takes, takes, and now the king goes to h7. Here, a good idea is to play rook e7 to pin the bishop. I guess rook e6 is also good here. What does Hans play? Oh, he plays rook to e1. Very good move. The point is, if you take the rook, the bishop recaptures, and now if you get greedy and take the b2 pawn, then pawn to a6 is winning for white. So Nepo plays rook to f7 and Hans goes bishop to bishop to d6 followed by rook e7. Oh, so he takes the b2 pawn. I think rook e7 somehow is not that good because after rook takes there is bishop to e5 check, and he can simply control the a7 square, preventing the a pawn from promotion. So Hans pushes the a pawn forward. And what if rook a7 here? It's check, then it takes, takes, and again this move is present. So Nepo plays c4, bishop to c5. Now we have a7 threatened, bishop comes to c3 attacking the rook. I think you just have to move the rook away, like rook to e7 should do the trick. Hans plays rook to e8, which is also a nice move. He takes on d3, pawn takes d3, and there's no stopping this pawn. Nepo resigns. There was a tweet, and after the tweet, the two actually met in the UZ Chess Cup in Tashkent that was about to start. So, this kind of escalated after the game. There were public comments, communication after the match, and statements from both sides. That became the headline. But when people come back later and open this PGN, they will see something else. A final round must win game and a player who delivered. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe because we are going to keep covering top level chess games and the ideas behind them.